as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting tonight. We're glad to have you here. Thanks. We had a little delay in getting started because we had a workshop right before this meeting, and I'm gonna go to item 2. Let's go to item 2 first, without objection. Well, is Ms. Is Sylvia here? You're Sylvia? All right. Well, this is a presentation by Ms. Sylvia Garza Pettis, the county clerk, regarding the U.S. 2020 Census, but she has asked County Judge Eddie Trevino to sub in for her. Thank you, Judge Trevino, for being here. Please.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Ms. Garza Perez is pretty good. She's pretty flexible, but she can't be in 2 places at once. South Padre was having their city commission meeting tonight, and guess where I chose to come and speak? Okay? Remember that. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be here this evening. Mayor, I want to thank you for joining us on Monday for the kickoff of the 2020 Census. We're basically here to advocate, promote, and motivate everybody here in Cameron County to make sure that we make sure that each and every person in our community gets counted. This particular census for 2020 is going to be different from any other census that we've ever had in our history because it's going to be technology driven. Citizens will have to call in to participate or complete the census online. I pointed out the other day that while regardless of your economic or social status, there's one thing that binds everybody, and it's one of these. So we're going to make sure that we take advantage of this opportunity that we can, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. Obviously, people will be able to respond via online or by calling in, and response and participation results will be readily available. We're going to be setting up regional rallies and motivation events to make sure that we get the outreach out to the community. The kickoff is set to begin on March the 23rd, 2020. That's why we're starting now to advocate and motivate. The initial part of the census will end on July the 24th, 2020. Once that part is over, then individuals who have obviously registered or been counted in the past and haven't responded will then be looked after, and then they'll be going door to door. But obviously, we do not want to wait until that particular time. Just some information for the perspective of Cameron County. The latest estimates have us at an estimated population of approximately 450,000 people here in Cameron County. Our median age is 31. Our household on average consists of 4 individuals, and 31% of the population in our county was estimated to be at the poverty level as a result of the 2010 census. What's so important about the demographics? Well, on average, Texas receives over $43 billion per year based on the decennial census. Every bit of federal and state dollar that comes to us is as a result and factored in, calculated based on this census. So the per capita allocations to date are approximately $1,600 per person. You've got a household of 6 individuals, that's $9,500 a year approximately, and over a 10-year period, we're talking almost $100,000. Multiply that by several households, we're talking millions, and if you figure out the decades, we're talking billions of dollars that the Valley, and in particular Cameron County, has lost out on. So we want to make sure that we assist all of our communities, both our large and small. We've established a Cameron County Complete Count Committee. I'm hopeful, I believe Harlingen has already established that. In any event, we're here to help, assist, and work with all of our communities to make sure that everybody gets counted in 2020. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you here this evening. The mayor and the commissioner and I are working on several different projects, but I would have to say that everything flows from this particular result, so we want to have a successful 2020 census. I'll be happy to answer any questions. At least I can try to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Judge Trevino? We want you to know that we are. This is a very, very high priority for the city of Harlingen to make sure that we get an accurate count. We want to count everybody because everybody counts, and we want to make sure that we get the best possible count that we can, and that we don't, because we know that we've been undercounted in the past, and we have to rectify that. We have to make an all-out effort this time around to make sure that we minimize the undercount. So thank you for
Infrastructure,
your leadership.
transportation, housing, healthcare, everything is going to factor as a result of this. So I know that if we all work together, our social organizations, our church organizations, our schools, our businesses, our social groups, we can get this done. So I appreciate the commitment from Harlingen, and again, we're here to help. God bless you all. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you, Judge.
May I be excused, Mayor?
I wish I were a judge, but I'm not. You don't have to ask my permission. Thanks, Judge. All right, we're going to go back to item 1, which is the presentation of the proclamations proclaiming the following April 2019 as Community Development Block Grant Fair Housing Month, and April 1st through the 5th, 2019 as Community Development Block Grant Week. So I think we have Community Development Block Advisory Board members here. We'd like you to come up and join us. Just a little last paperwork. So we've got the first proclamation for National Community Development Week. So we want to present this whereas the week of April 2nd of 2018, actually 2019, is designated as National Community Development Week by the National Community Development Association to celebrate the Community Development Block Grant Program and the Home Investment Partnerships Program. And whereas the Community Development Block Grant Program has its primary objective the development of viable urban communities by providing decent housing, a suitable living environment, and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low and moderate income. Whereas the Home Program provides funding to local communities to create decent, safe, and affordable housing opportunities for low and moderate income persons. Whereas the City of Harlingen receives direct allocations from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development annually to provide resources for a wide variety of community development activities, principally benefiting low and moderate income persons, including the elderly and children. Whereas in our community and in communities throughout the nation, 43 years of Community Development Block Grant Program funding, 13 years of home program funding, which developed a strong network of relationships. Now, therefore, I'm responsible mayor of the City of Harlingen to hereby proclaim the week of April 2nd, 2019 or April 6, 2019 as Community Development Block Grant Week in support of this valued program that has made a tremendous contribution to the viability of the housing stock and infrastructure in Harlingen, Texas. Proclamation to our board, and thank you all for the hard work that you do in helping our city to administer these important funds. Heard the county judge just a few minutes ago talk about the importance of getting an accurate count in our census, and that these funds are directly contributed to getting an accurate count in our census, as are all of our community development block programs. Second proclamation is to recognize that in 1968, President Lyndon James Johnson, the Texans, signed the Fair Housing Act into law. This landmark legislation sought to protect individuals' ability to own or rent property free from discrimination. In 1989, Texas solidified its commitment to basic right by passing the Texas Fair Housing Act, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, family status, or disability. Whereas these acts were conceived with the noble goal in mind of affording all Americans the opportunity to pursue their American dream and seek the housing of their choice. Texans truly know the meaning of diversity and understand that our differences make us stronger, not weaker. Whereas each year, the month of April is dedicated to reaffirming our commitment to equality of opportunity in the housing industry. Whereas the 50th anniversary of the National Fair Housing for All during the month of April provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that complete success in the goal of equal housing opportunity can only be accomplished with the help and cooperation of all Americans. Now, therefore, actor responsible mayor, the city of Harlingen, hereby proclaim the month of April 2019 as Fair Housing Month in the city of Harlingen. We hereby urge all citizens of this municipality to become aware and support the Fair Housing Law. So we want to thank you all again for the commitment that this volunteer board makes to helping us administer these funds, making sure they get to the places where they do the most good in our community, and supporting these other programs like affordable housing and fair housing in our community.
We'd like to thank you and the commission for the support and the guidance that always give us, and to Tammy Jackson also for her awesome work and her staff.
All right, thank you all very much. Okay, now item number 3 is the approval of the minutes of the joint session of the City Commission and the Community Improvement Board of November 16th, 2018, and the regular meeting minutes of March 7th, 2019. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Mayor, give me a minute, I'm getting back to that line. On the March 7th meeting, line 7, the original pro forma instead of performance. And on line 20, Jeff Hamill, not Jeff Grant. And that would be the same for line 25, Mr. Hamill.
Okay, with those corrections, is there a motion to approve both?
So moved.
minutes? Second. A motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Consent agenda items 4 through C. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We're going to have to pass item 5 because there was a little glitch in the printing here. We didn't really get all of the agenda item typed in here, so we'll pass item 5. Item 6 is to consideration of possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading of the City of Harlingen, amending Chapter 28, Article 5, Sections 28-338 and 28-339, and Chapter 18 of the Harlingen Code of Ordinances as all governed taxi cab fares, providing for publication and ordaining other matters of the foregoing.
Mayor, Commissioners, we're making a minor revision to the ordinance. We are inserting the word maximum price allowed to be charged by taxi cab services. This allows them to charge less if they so desire, so making them more competitive with the TNCs that we are trying to get operating in this area. So staff is recommending approval of the revisions as presented.
Can I ask the city attorney to read the caption, please?
Yes, sir. An ordinance of the City of Harlingen, Texas, amending Chapter 28, Article 5, Sections 28-338 and 28-339, and Chapter 18 of the Harlingen Code of Ordinances as all governed taxi cab fares, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Motion.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance on first reading?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Item 7 is the consideration of possible action to select one of the top 3 providers from the list based on the presentations made by representatives of the firms, and authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract for associated architectural and engineering services pursuant to the city's request for qualifications number 2019-03 for the design and project management of the HEB Tennis Center Pro Shop.
Mayor,
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. We are requesting for the commission to select one of the top three firms that made a presentation earlier today during the workshop. Is there any questions for me in reference to the RFQ? I'm here to answer any questions. We asked to select one of the firms.
Before we had this workshop, there was a committee that picked a firm.
Yes, sir.
And which firm did that committee pick?
The preliminary ranking was, for the top one was Negrete and Kohler Architects.
So the RFQ process requires the responses to be reviewed by a committee of staff, and then a preliminary ranking of those responses, with the city commission going with formal presentation if the commission desires, and that's what was requested. And so we asked for the top three firms based on the preliminary rankings to come in and make formal presentations. After the presentation, the city council has the option to select a firm based on those presentations. And what we would ask is, we would ask that you select them in order of 1, 2, and 3, and authorize us to negotiate with the top firm. If we cannot come to an agreement on a price, then we would move forward and begin negotiations with the second firm.
In this process, we don't take any consideration as to them knowing what the budget is and them able to complete within budget. Is that correct? That's not part of this process?
No.
No.
No, right?
No.
So all they're given is the scope of what the project is, what we're looking for, and then we want to know what type of things they worked on to correlate what that is to what we have. Is that correct?
That's
The
correct.
way we rank them is based on their qualifications. And that's it. There's no cost, no, what they charge or anything like that. It's just based on their qualifications.
And that's based on the responses to the RFQ.
Okay. And so with that being said, when I saw this and I looked at this, we'll talk about 1 and 2. The only difference between 1 and 2 is on one item, one of the respondents ranked them lower on 2 different areas. So the majority still ranked them the same. If you were to toss out 1, and even if you included 3 and did the same thing, you would find that 1 and 2 is basically a dead heat. And so the only thing I would see that would be different in the 2 is their physical location in the community, and where they're at. Basically, 1 is in Harlingen and 1 is in Edinburgh/Austin. Am I correct on that? In my
Yes.
thinking?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so, it's really difficult to choose, and I can see why y'all struggled with this. I have been a big advocate of trying to get the local firms work here locally. And so, in my opinion, based on that, I think we should be looking at Megamorphosis versus the Negrete, because we watched all their presentations. They were all very good presentations. But I would have to lean towards the local in that, they have to live here. They have to be left with what they've designed. And so that's just my opinion. We have 3 other commissioners here.
Well, I would agree that all 3 did an excellent job, and it's a difficult decision for us to make. And I don't want to do anything that would prevent future RFPs from being responded to by as many people. But in this case, I just know, like Commissioner Leal said, all things being equal as they are on this, as close as they are, I would agree with him about Megamorphosis, because I know particularly in dealing with the convention center and dealing with the parking here for the farmers market, there's been a ton of pro bono work that's been done. And based on their projects in the city and the quality of what they've done, whether it's the Reese or whether it's the Performing Arts Center for the school. I think they do excellent work, and I would agree with Commissioner Leal that I'd like to, in this case, see them get this project.
Other than asking our opinions, how are we going to vote on this?
That was going to be my question.
Well, we need somebody to make a motion, and
To select the project.
and I would, the motion would, if the motion could be, move that we rank Megamorphosis first, Negrete and Kolar Architects second, and GMS Architects third.
And at that point, we'd have further discussion?
We can
At
have
that point,
further
we'd have further
discussion. We can have
So-
further discussion.
So, since I spoke up first, I'll make the motion that we rank Megamorphosis 1, Negrete Kolar Architects 2, and GMS Architects 3, and that we award this to Megamorphosis.
I would second that motion.
You authorize staff to negotiate.
And I authorize staff to
The city
negotiate.
manager, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm feeling that there's going to be more discussion.
Yes.
Bingo. Yes, I don't think we should override a committee that was picked and assigned with a task, and so, they picked Negrete and Kohler in the dead heat, and why override them?
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign.
Opposed?
Okay, the motion carries 3-1. So, thank you all for coming out and making these presentations. We really do appreciate it. And all of you are great architects and firms, and all of you have done work in our community, and I'm sure all of you will continue to do work in our community. But thank you again for being here tonight. Item 8 is the consideration and possible action to enter into a contract between the City of Harlingen and Dr. Jose Guillermo Estrada Franco to provide entomological services as a result of the Texas Department of State Health Services grant.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, City Managers. This item for you is part of the grant we received earlier in the year, and is to hire Dr. Estrada to enter an agreement, City Manager enter an agreement with Dr. Estrada for entomological surveillance work that we're going to be performing as part of the grant.
I know what entomological means, but define it for the public. What kind of work is this?
In a simplest way, the grant was they awarded to the Health Department. It was to conduct surveillance on the mosquito behavioral, specifically those that carry the virus that is threatening our population right now, which is Zika. We know of dengue that's been in existence in the valley for many years. So his work and his capacity would be to collect mosquitoes. Specifically, we're looking for the Aedes aegypti species, but others as well that may affect public health. So his role would be collecting and gathering the mosquitoes. We're going to be speciating, which means identifying the species, and then collecting those pools that may have the blood samples that we're looking for, which will be sent to the state. And his role is pretty much study mosquitoes.
Okay, prior to this, do we have any clue on what percentage of our mosquito population is Aedes aegypti?
Well, we have a subtropical climate here in the valley, so we can say a large percentage of it is Aedes aegypti, depending on the rain season that we have. Most of them will be primarily Culex, which is the tropical rain type of mosquitoes. But the Aedes aegypti has been here in South Texas, and it's the one that carries the viruses, dengue and Zika primarily. The Culex and the Aedes anopheles will carry the West Nile. So we're looking specifically to the Aedes aegypti species, and others, of course. But yeah, what he does primarily is look at mosquitoes. And other insects as well that may impact public health, but primarily with this grant, we're looking at those mosquitoes that would carry the Zika virus and dengue virus.
Do other cities like Brownsville and San Benito do similar things, similar surveillance?
Correct. As a matter of fact, the program that Brownsville has is the one I started back in the 90s, so they continue with the project. We started the same development programs in McAllen before I left McAllen, but most cities are trying to develop their programs. We're also partnering with the universities. We wanted the students, they're going to go into entomological surveillance kind of work to use them and so they can learn as well the trade while working with the municipalities so they can get the experience, because we're also going to acquire some microscopes that they can use so they can look at the mosquitoes in the microscope and look at the species.
So this will be new for us to be able to do
City of
this
Harlingen,
surveillance?
yes.
Okay,
We've been doing it in partnership with the state and the county,
okay.
but this is something the city will take on the lead now.
And this is a 100%, it's a non-matching grant?
Correct, it's 100%.
So,
Non-matching.
non-matching, that's what I just said, non-matching grant. So
And
this
we're
is
looking at
totally
future grants.
provided to us by the state of Texas?
Correct. The funding comes primarily through CDC to the state.
CDC?
Correct. Dr. Estrada, as a matter of fact, he's not able to be here today, but he's finishing work for CDC in Mexico, and then he'll come back and join us here.
Fabulous.
I read through this whole thing. I mean, it's really, really interesting stuff.
Thank you.
And I just think the public needs to know what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Right, and as we get everything lined up and ready, we'll start inviting the press and everybody else to come and join us and see what we're doing.
Very good.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to
So
enter
moved.
into the contract?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9 is consideration of possible action to appoint members of the Complete Count Committee for the 2020 census.
Mayor, members of the commission, the city commission's already established a complete count committee by resolution. What we're asking for is for the committee to be populated. In your packet, you've got, the committee itself will be initially made up of 10 members. Each commissioner will appoint 1 member. The mayor appoints 5. And at the mayor's discretion, he can appoint an additional 5 members to the committee, so we could have up to 15 members. In your packet, you've got a list of some individuals who have expressed willingness to serve on that committee. And I am asking for 2 commissioners to be appointed to that committee as well, and for the mayor to appoint the chairman, preferably one of the commissioners, since you have a lot of experience in running a meeting. So I would like to at least get some of these people appointed tonight. One of the things that we have to do initially is have a 2-hour presentation by the Census Bureau on training for the committee, so we need to set that up as quickly as possible. Be happy to answer any questions. Now, I know we don't have all the members here, but if you want me to contact someone on your behalf, or if you know someone who may be willing to serve, we'd certainly like to get them on the committee.
Okay, well, yeah, so I did not have time to contact some people that I would like to ask to serve, but we could go ahead and appoint the 4 who are named here and get 2 city commissioners to agree to serve. Have y'all, who wants?
Anybody have any medical training?
Commissioner Leal won't look over here. He won't look at it.
I'm not going to, oh, I got it.
Commissioner Leal, I think you'd be very,
I'll volunteer.
you and Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be too mean to appoint Reuben since he's not here and can't.
That's tempting.
Okay. All right, well then, is there a motion that we appoint
Do we
Dominic
appoint-
Consiglio, Bill Reagan, Hilda de Benavides, Mike Mesmar, Victor Leal, and Julio Cavazos to the Complete Count Committee?
And if you could designate who the chairman for that committee is going to be, Mayor.
Y'all want to flip for it? You want to arm wrestle for it?
No.
Do you have your 4-way coin on you?
No.
Neither do I, so that, can't do that.
We'll do that at the next.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind serving as the chairman. If I'm going to be on it, I might as well go for the gusto.
Okay.
Not, because Mike is mayor pro tem. You want to continue?
It's fine.
Okay, and to appoint, then, okay, well, I appoint the chairman, right?
Yes, sir. you
Yeah.
do.
All right, well, let's go ahead and have the commission vote on the motion to approve
Okay.
the committee, these committee members. Okay, I think there was a motion in a second. no?
I don't know. Did we have a
That was
motion?
a motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, and I'll appoint Commissioner Leal to serve as chairman. Thank you for serving as chairman.
Thank you, Mayor.
This is going to be, this is a
This is important.
super important
Yeah.
issue for us. Okay. Item 10, board appointments. Anybody have any board appointments?
None.
Okay, no board appointments. Then we go to item 11, which is the executive closed session on the following items pursuant to section 551.0712 Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney regarding legal issues arising out of actions by the firefighters pension board, possible amendments of certain provisions of collective bargaining labor agreement between the city and the firefighters association. B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 552.072 and 551.071 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate if the deliberation in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of Harlingen with a third person regarding the acquisition of the real property for a transit terminal expansion. And C, pursuant to Section 551.071 Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney in connection with the MPO merger. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to meet with our attorney in the executive conference room. There is an action item when we come back. Thank you. Okay, we're out of executive session at 6:48. And we're going to go to item 12, which is consideration and possible action, if any, to approve proposed amendments to the firefighters' labor agreement pertaining to pension benefits, future base pay, adjustments, and contract term modification. Is there a motion to approve the proposed amendment to the firefighters' labor agreement as discussed in executive session? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Citizen communication, item 13.
And we would have, Mr. Lozano.
Think he left.
Oh, he's not here.
That's it.
That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Thank you.